You can use other properties to completely pay off your home loan without changing your lifestyle or going on a super tight, unrealistic budget for 15 years. Now, here's exactly how it works. I'm an ex-banker who structured over $500 million in property financing, and this is personally one of my favorite strategies because it's realistic. You probably could pay off your home loan in 10 to 15 years if you budgeted extremely hard and stuck to it. In my opinion, it's completely unrealistic, and I'm going to show you how to leverage property to pay off your home loan while the properties do the heavy lifting. Okay, you get the tax deductions along the way, and you don't have to dramatically change your lifestyle. Now, let's get into it. There are 3 reasons why I prefer using property to pay off your home loan instead of just throwing all your income at it. Reason 1, if you're a high income earner, you get the tax deductions on the investment properties while they're growing in value and doing the work for you. Your home loan interest isn't tax deductible, but investment property interest is, which means you're using the tax system to help you build your wealth faster and pay off your home loan. Reason 2 is that your income can't possibly outpace inflation. Okay? Most calculations about paying your home loan off using your own money don't factor in that inflation will eat at your purchasing power, because effectively what your money is worth today, it won't be worth in 5 or 10 years. Property historically keeps pace or even exceeds inflation. So you're protecting yourself whilst you build your equity. And reason 3 is that the properties do the work for you. Okay? They grow in capital while you don't have to be on a very tight budget or dramatically change your lifestyle. You're using leverage as well as time instead of just grinding and saving every dollar for 15 years. This is the smartest way to do it if you've got equity and a borrowing capacity. Now, I'm going to break down the exact mechanics of how this works. Effectively, you use equity from your home to buy 2 or 3 investment properties. You let those investment properties grow in value over 10 to 15 years. Now, historically in Australia, properties double in value every 10 years and grow at around 6 to 7% year on year. Okay? That's what the last 100 years have shown us. You let those properties grow, and then you get to a point where you can effectively sell them down, cover all the sale costs and CGT, and then use what's left to reduce your home loan balance entirely, okay? Or pay it off completely. Just get rid of the home loan altogether, and a lot of the time you have cash left over. Now, the properties are doing the heavy lifting for you. Like I said, you're not grinding to save every dollar and paying for your home loan with after-tax money, which is a big thing in all of this, because you're using the ATO, like I said, because you're getting the tax deductions on your income. You're getting the tax deductions on your income, whereas when you're paying off your home loan using your own money, you're paying with it with after-tax dollars. Okay? So not only do you have to budget super hard, but like I said, you're paying off your home loan with after-tax dollars. In this instance, you're paying for investment properties with pre-tax dollars. So you're using leverage, time, and growth to create the equity you need to wipe out your home loan. Now, let me show you exactly what this looks like with real numbers. Say you currently have a $1.5 million home loan. And your home is worth $2.5 million. Effectively, you've got $1 million of usable equity, and the bank will go to 80%. So you have around $800,000 here that you can use against your home. Now, here's what we want to do. We want to buy 2 or 3 investment properties. In this example, I'm using 2, worth around $800,000 each. Okay. We're going to use equity from our property, which we have plenty of it anyway. We have around $800,000 for the 20% plus stamp. That way, you're not actually using a dollar from your pocket. And also, if this exercise is done correctly, then the equity you've released off your home is tax deductible. Okay, even though it's against your home loan, it's against the house that you live in. If it is structured correctly as a new split, and your mortgage record does it right, then effectively that debt will be tax deductible, the money that you're using towards the deposit plus stamp duty. So, like I said, 20% plus stamp for each of these. Stamp duty is $160,000 each. That's the 20%. And stamp duty in New South Wales at the moment is $31,500. We're going to multiply that by 2 because we need one set of those for each property. And it's going to give us the total upfront of $383,000. Okay? Which, if we look back to how much equity we have in our home. We have $800,000 of equity in our home, which means we have plenty of equity towards using these two purchases, plus you have equity left over, so you're not maxing out your house in this particular example. So $383 to buy those two properties. And here's what we're doing next. We are going to borrow the money, the rest of the money, against these two properties, which will put us in a total debt position. If we're looking at the equity we're releasing plus the debt we're taking out for each of these properties, it's going to put us in a total debt position of $1.633 million. That's including 20% stamp duty and then borrowing the full purchase amount of these two. Now, of course, if you have a deposit, okay, you don't have to borrow all of the money. If you have a deposit, you can use it towards these purchases. Just make sure when you're using the deposit, you do it correctly. So you might do a little debt recycling activity to minimize your non-deductible debt. And then that way you're releasing deductible debt to be able to use these purchases. So when you're using it as a cash deposit, don't just use the cash towards buying the investment properties if you have owner-occupied debt. Okay, there's another way to do it. But in saying that, the point is, if you have cash, you can use some of it towards this so that debt position is smaller. Now, effectively, what we're going to do is we're going to park this 1.633. It's going to be on interest only, okay? And the reason why is because the purpose of this is not to smash down the loans of the investment properties. If that was the case, we'd put it on principal and interest, but it's not. The purpose of it is to let the properties grow in equity over a certain amount of time, okay? Which means you just need to free up cash flow during that time so that you're not fronting too much in repayments. Because the loan balances isn't what matters, it's more so the growth of the properties, hence why we'll be parking it on interest only, okay? So that's going to be on interest only. And what happens next? This $1.633 million, obviously you consult with your accountant with all of this, okay? This is not advice, it's general advice only, okay? And it's for the purpose of this video. Always check with your accountant, your financial planner, and all your professionals with all this information. So, tax deductible debt, okay? Which means that you're paying with it with before tax money, and you'll probably get a refund at the end of the financial year if you're pay as you go. Next step. Now what we want to do is we want to let these properties sit for 15 years. That's the example I'm using here. I'm letting them sit 15 years. And if I'm going off a 6% annual growth rate, which historically in Australia is what we've seen over the last 100 years, in 15 years, those properties will be worth $1.9 million each. So they go from being $800,000 each to $1.9 million each, okay? In total, across the two properties, that's $3.8 million. At the same time as all this growth is happening, you've been paying principal and interest on the home that you actually live in. So after 15 years, that balance has dropped from 1.5 to around, I'm going to call it 1.07 million. Roughly. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to sell down those two investment properties. After we pay CGT, we pay sale costs, we pay off the home loans, you're left with about $1.54 million in cash. Okay. Like I said, your home loan balance is 1.07, so we have plenty to cover that off. You take that 1.5, you smash off and get rid of your home loan, and then after fully paying off your home loan, you'll be left with around $470,000 in cash. Okay, so you have no debt on any property, including the house you live in, plus you have $470,000 in cash sitting in your account. So if your plan is to say, hey, in 15 years, I want to retire my wife, I don't want her to work anymore, or I want to retire myself, we both want to retire, or whatever, I want to retire my husband, whatever the situation is, you say, you complete this activity, you'll sell the properties down, you'll pay off your home loan, okay, you'll pay off the investment loans, and you'll be left with cash. Not only have you smashed off all your debt, but your home that you live in has actually gone up in value too. So your house that was once worth $2.5 million is probably worth over $5 million now, which you own outright, fully paid off, no debt on that. You have $470,000 in cash, no debt, okay? You've used two properties over 15 years to completely wipe out your home loan, and you've still got nearly $500,000 in cash left over. The properties did all the work. You didn't have to be on a crazy tight budget. You got tax deductions along the way, and now you're debt-free with cash in the bank. Let me show you why this is better than just trying to pay off your home loan with your income. Because if you try to pay off a $1.5 million home loan over 15 years using just your income, you'd need to put roughly $100,000 a year towards the loan after you've already paid tax on that income. That's brutal. Most people can't sustain that for 15 years without burning out or sacrificing their lifestyle completely. And even if you could, inflation is eating at the value of every dollar you're putting toward the loan. The dollar you're using to pay down your loan today is worth more than the dollar you'll be using in 10 years. You're paying off that debt with depreciating currency. Meanwhile, if you're using property, those properties are growing at 6 to 7% per year, which historically keeps pace with or exceeds inflation. Okay, so effectively you're protecting your wealth whilst you're building your equity, and you're getting tax deductions on the interest the entire time, which means the ATO is helping you build wealth faster if you're a high income earner. The properties are doing the compounding for you. You're using leverage and time instead of just brute force income. That's why this strategy works better for most people, especially high income earners who understand how to use debt properly. Like I said, this strategy isn't for everyone. You need a few things for this to work. First, you need equity in your home. If you're already at an 80 LVR, you don't have enough equity to pull out for deposits. You'll either need to pay down your home loan first, a little bit, or wait for your property to increase in value, which might take 6 months. That's ideally the route that I'd go. Second, you need borrowing capacity. You're taking on investment debt, so the lender needs to be comfortable that you can service your home loan plus the new investment loans. If you're already maxed out on your serviceability, this won't work unless your income dramatically increases, okay, or your debt reduces. So you sell off a few things, you restructure everything so that you're able to do this activity. And third, you need a long enough time horizon. This is a 10 to 15 year strategy. If you need your home loan paid off in the next 3 years, this is not the plan for you, okay? But if you're willing to let the properties grow and compound over time, this is one of the most effective ways to clear your home loan without grinding for the next 15 years. If you've got equity, serviceability, and time, like I said, this is the smartest way to pay off your home loan whilst building wealth along the way. So, to wrap it up, here's a summary. You use equity from your home to buy 2 investment properties. You let them grow for 10 to 15 years at historical growth rates of around 6 to 7% per year. You sell them down, pay off the loans, cover CGT and sale costs, and use what's left to completely pay off your home loan. You'll end up with a fully paid off home, cash left over, and you didn't have to be on a brutal budget for 15 years. The properties did the work for you. The alternative is grinding for the next 15 years, putting every spare dollar towards your home loan, paying it off with after-tax money that's losing value to inflation every single year. Same time frame, way harder path, and you end up with just a paid off home loan and no cash. This is general advice, okay? It's not specific to your current situation. You will have to check with a financial planner, an accountant, and all the rest of it to make sure it is right for you. My team and I help our clients structure this exact strategy. We work out the equity position, we assess borrowing capacity, and set up the loans properly so the tax deductions work and the numbers actually stack up. This strategy isn't for everyone. If paying off your home loan is your long-term goal, okay, this is the smartest way to do it. Not everybody wants to pay off their home loan. They have different strategies. But if you want to, this is the smartest way. Use the properties to pay it off. Let growth and time do the work, okay? That's this strategy. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe because we upload new videos every single week, and pop a comment in the comment box if you have any questions.